Hello, light workers and light bearers and digital warriors and anybody else who's striving for good. I hope you're all fine and dandy. And today, would you believe, here in Spain is the day of the innocent saints, Los Santos Inocentes. And what that means is that today is April Fool's Day, the version in Spain. And on this day, people play tricks with others. And so they played a trick on me, and I'll tell you what it is in the next bit. So, just to fill you in, I've been with my wife, my Spanish wife, Cynthia, for 17 years now. And every time that this day comes around, which is the 28th of December, every time she tries to play a trick on me. Now, at the beginning, she used to do it, but now obviously it doesn't work. So she has to find people to play a trick on me. And every now and again, I catch it. But today I didn't. And I'll tell you why. Because the reason that I know that it's coming is because I hear people saying, oh yes, it's El Día de los Santos Inocentes, and I go, oh yes, right, I must keep that in mind. But I haven't heard a word about it. In fact, my wife told me this morning that she was going through my mobile, always dangerous anyway, going through my mobile, taking off any messages of any mention of the April Fool's Day, the Spanish version. So for that reason, I was completely unprepared. She went out for a run this morning, and this was early on in the morning. The phone rang while she was out, and I thought it was her, so I said hello. I answered in English, hello, because this week is we do one week where we talk in Spanish and 1 week where we talk in English, and we've done that for 17 years. This is the English week, so I answered in English, and I heard a lady say in Spanish, hello, I want to speak to Gordon Smith. And I said, Gordon Smith-Durán. And I said, yeah, that's me. And she said, oh, I'm calling from the medical centre in our village, El Casar. And she said, just to let you know that your name is on the list of those high-risk people. And so we want you to come and get the vaccine. The COVID vaccine. Okay? So, and this was all planned. Cynthia knew that she would get me going if she said that I was on the high risk. All right, because I mean, just what high risk? So I'm listening to what she said, and initially I thought that they were saying that I thought she said that. Somebody who had been in contact with us was high risk. And so just to clarify, I said, who is it that's high risk? And she said, you. Well, I just saw red. I just blew my top. So obviously in a controlled way, I said, I'm not high risk. I'm the dog's bollocks in terms of health. Why would I be wanting to put a vaccine into me? And anyway, she said, but you know, we want you to come down and everything. And I said, look, I mean, you know, thank God it was just a prank. But I said, look, I'll put that vaccine in me when I'm dead. Before that, I won't. So you can take it and you can give it to anybody else. Give it away. Let somebody have 2. Thank you very much. But I'm not having it. And then she said, well, if you don't have it, we're going to have to get in touch with your doctor and put you on the blacklist. Well, I was just absolutely going crazy. And I said, so I started telling her all about the stats. You know, have you not seen the statistics? Have you not seen the serious adverse effects? 3,000 people in the first week. 3,000 people. And then balance that against the mortality rate of COVID, which is at 0.02% now, thanks to all the PCR tests. So I was getting myself really worked up. And I kept saying, this is a joke. This has got to be a joke. You've got to be joking. And of course she was. But I didn't realize, I didn't put two and two together. And finally, when she told me that it was a joke, and that it was, because what they do is they play a little bit of music to show that you've been caught. You know how in the UK we would say April Fools. Well, here they say, inocente, innocent. So then I called her a few names more in Spanish, just out of relief. But anyway, that was what happened to me this morning. And that was my paper tiger for the week. I'm served now. I do not need any more paper tigers, no more shocks coming through. But it was funny that the reaction that it instilled in me. I was like, what? Furious. So that won't happen anyway. So what I wanted to do anyway, after telling you that, I wanted just to tell you a few things about where we are in terms of energetically. Okay, we are going through some tough times, and we will continue to go through some tough times. There are going to be like the weirdest things happening, strange things, things that don't make any sense. There are going to be lies upon lies upon lies coming out in the media. Trying to remember you can remember the story of the boy in Holland who was walking along next to the dike that kept the water back, and there was a hole and the water was coming through the hole, and so he thought, oh, I'll have to stop that, and he put his finger in the dike. But the longer he had his finger in, the more the water came out. The hole got bigger, so he put his hand in, and then he put his arm in, and he couldn't stop it. That's exactly what the media is doing at the moment. They are trying to cover the holes in this story by telling lie upon lie. And you know what happens when you're a liar? It doesn't matter how good of a liar you are. Unless you have a fantastic memory, then you get caught out. In fact, it's almost impossible not to be caught out, because when you make a lie on top of a lie, then it starts becoming very complex. You know, what's that expression? Oh, what a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive. And this is what they're doing. They're weaving a web. And it's so complex now that it's virtually impossible for them to try and maintain the lie without it having holes in it. And this is happening all over the place. All over the place. I just yesterday, I watched a video of a group of Italian doctors, and chapeau, for the Italian, many people in Italy now are really lifting and fighting for the truth. And a group of Italian doctors have published a video where they do a test on a kiwi fruit. And they do it in front of the camera, no breaks, and of course the kiwi comes out positive. So either we need to avoid kiwi fruit from now on, or the test is a pile of bollocks. What do you think? So all of this stuff is coming out. The press is trying to hide it. Now what happens, and this is what I've seen, is that the zombies, the comatose people, don't have a memory. Honestly, they're like goldfish with the 3-second memory, where it swims from one side of its bowl to the other and goes, oh, wow, I've never seen this before, and then it swims back, whoa, I've never seen that before. That's where people are at the moment. They have no long-term memory. They have no short-term memory either. It's bizarre, because the stories keep changing all of the time, and yet they're not seeing it. And of course, those who are awakened, we go, oh, the emperor has no clothes on again. I mean, how many times have we seen a naked emperor? It's just, it's endless. It's endless, an endless stream of this doesn't match, this doesn't match, this doesn't match, but they said this before, and now they're saying this, and blah, blah, blah. So that's where we are at the moment. Expect to see more. Expect to see more ridiculousness, more exaggeration. Watch out very carefully for the new strain. Yeah, which is interesting, isn't it? That there's this new strain that's just come out. And it only came out sort of more or less 10 days after they started doing that in the UK, and it appeared. How strange, yeah? But what I thought was, as soon as I heard that, I thought, I wonder how they know. I wonder how they know that there's a new strain. Because, you know, the first one has never been isolated. Never, ever been isolated. And that's factual. That's on the CDC website. It says, we have never isolated this. All right? So they've never seen it. I mean, you know, all of the imagery was just CGI, was just Photoshop shit. Okay? So they've never, ever isolated it. And so my question is, if they've never isolated the original, how do they know that there's a new one? Based on what? How have they tested it? With a PCR test? How do they know? Anyway, so all of these questions, you know, for those who are awake, they go, yeah, well, obviously, there's something wrong with that. And other people go, God, there's a new strain. We'll have to be careful. Well, here in Spain, well, frankly, I'm not celebrating Christmas. We can celebrate Christmas anytime. Well, you can't. You can only celebrate Christmas at Christmas. That's why it's called Christmas. You can't just celebrate it anytime. That would be ridiculous. And they go, well, I'm not going to spend any time. I'm not going to see any of my relatives. I'm not going to do anything. Because it's not fair, is it? God, give me strength. God, give me strength. So, I forgot where I was now. You see, I'm getting upset again with these people that just honestly, oh yeah, no memory. They're not able to look at things and go, hang on, this doesn't fit. All right. So yeah, we're going to see a lot more ridiculousness before it comes good, but it will come good. It's going to come good. Okay. Trust in the process. This is a process that has been on the cards for a long time. It's been in the Bible for a long time. It's been in lots of books, famous books, for a long time. This is not something that's out of the blue. This was always going to happen. And it must run its course. It must run its course. And there's nothing that we can do to stop it from running its course. But what we can do is to protect ourselves, is to keep ourselves safe. And how we do that is by not allowing ourselves to get drawn in. Don't get drawn into the ridiculousness of it. Don't get drawn into endless arguments over facts and figures when people aren't even able to hear what you're saying. They can't hear you. You know, so keep calm, keep safe. Make sure that you've got a little bit extra in the house just in case. You know, how many electricity outages are we going to see? How many blackouts? How much internet downage are we going to see? How many times are we going to see companies hacked? It's just going crazy at the moment. Bombs everywhere, things getting blown up to hide evidence. It's just all over the place. Yeah, it's madness. We're in madness. So let me leave you just with one thing. I want to tell you something that I do. And what it is, I think I've got quite a good coping mechanism. I can laugh at a lot of things, and I do laugh at a lot. When before I would see some information and I would go, oh, how man. Now I look at it and I laugh because it's obviously so ridiculous. It means it's beyond. Why bother wasting energy on that when it's ridiculous? Okay, so I do laugh at a lot of things, but sometimes I do get overwhelmed by the energy that's around us at the moment. You know, we are empathic people, right? Empathic people are awakened, all right? When you put yourself in the place of others and you're awakened, you become very, very linked to what's happening. Okay, and there's a lot of bad vibes, man. A lot of bad vibes, okay, around at the moment, and we can pick them up. But what I do is every now and again, when I see myself, when I know that I am up to here, when I'm out and I'm doing my prayer, or I'm down in the gym actually and I do a little bit of meditation down there, sometimes I just cry. Sometimes I cry when I'm praying, and I don't always do it on purpose. I don't do it on purpose. Actually, it just comes out. But I know that I'm there, and I'm tearful, and I just let it out. And while I'm crying, I pray, and I ask for strength. Give me the strength to continue. Give me the strength to move forward and to help others. And it's amazing that when you do that, the release of the tears, it's just an emotional release. I mean, it could come out in many other ways, but I think tears are a good way of releasing it, because it's a very genuine, honest release of emotion. Whereas if it's through anger or shouting, that puts a lot of stress on the body. Tears actually relieve the body. Okay, so that's quite a good way of doing it, And look, I'm a man, and I know men aren't supposed to cry, but my God, I don't know who wrote that rule, but I don't agree with it, because I do cry a lot at anything that moves me. I go, oh, yeah, but it's something new for me. It's not. Before I used to be like, no, I don't cry. So do that. Pray and cry. Pray and cry when you feel overwhelmed, but try and do it in line with asking for some, and if it's not God, the universe, doesn't really matter, nature, asking for strength. Okay, because we need strength to get through this. These are not easy times. These are tough times. Call it what you will. These are really tough times, and we need all the strength that we can get. And we need to be in the best shape that we can to get through this. And that's why if you've got high emotions within your body, let them out. I know I've talked about EFT tapping and havening and stuff, but also just having a good blare, a good cry, a good weep. That is incredibly rejuvenating. It can release you, okay? All right. So I'll leave that with you. I'll leave you. Cry. I'll leave you with crying. But obviously, laughter is also really good as well. I'm just talking about when you're up to here and it's spilling out, just let it out and ask for some help and some strength, yeah? And then you're back on track again, right? It's amazing. I do it a lot. All right. Have a great week. See you on Friday. Take care.